Hey, my friends, we're doing something a little bit different here today. We're going to record with two cameras, and we're going to talk about when running your business and when entrepreneurship used to be fun, and what can we do to get back there. So today is all about putting the fun back in entrepreneurship, and that's our topic today on the Stop Doing Nothing show with Patrick. For those of you who have never watched before, my name is Patrick Almond. I run a business called Focus Digital Marketing and Stop Doing Nothing. And whether or not you're listening to us on iTunes or watching us on Facebook Live or on YouTube or wherever it is, I appreciate you tuning in. And for those of you that are watching live, I would encourage you to drop down in the comments below and leave a comment as to any questions you have or as to where you're from. I love hearing where people are tuning in from all around the world. Today I thought we would focus on the fun part of entrepreneurship, when we first got back into business and when things used to be fun. It's just not uncommon these days for me to talk to an entrepreneur, speaker, thought leader kind of person who is just kind of down in the, I'm not gonna say down in the dumps, but more down in the kind of the weeds of running a business, and it's not fun running it anymore, and they're bogged down with the accounting and with the marketing and with all that stuff. And yes, I talk a lot about marketing, but it was great when we first got into business and we were doing all the fun stuff. Remember that? Remember when you first thought, hey, it's going to be great to start a business and I'll get to work from home, I'll get to go in the office whenever I want, I'll get to bounce around coffee shops, I get to travel the world. And the more we got into it, whether or not it took a couple of days or a couple of weeks or a couple of months, you got to this point where it just wasn't, some of the joy and the spark went out of it. And all of a sudden, as a solopreneur, as a small business, you got bogged down in the details and the stuff that just wasn't so fun anymore, and it just kind of blew. And then after a while, you're sitting, you're bouncing in between airports like I was, you're sitting in a home office for 60 hours a week, and you're becoming antisocial, and you're having body odor issues or whatever it is, and all the fun stuff goes out of it. You're spending not that much time doing that little smidgen of stuff that's fun, and all the other time around that. So I thought we would go through today. I made up a list here of things that we can do to maybe kind of get back to that. I think the biggest problem I see with people losing their creativity and just getting the joy back in entrepreneurship is the fact that we're just bogged down with all that other crap that has to go with running our business, and that's not what we signed up for. When I went to business for myself back in 1998, I think is when it was. Yeah, that's when it was, 1998. I didn't sign up to be an accountant. I didn't sign up to be a QuickBooks expert. I didn't sign up to be a marketing expert. I didn't want to become an expert in booking plane tickets and things like that. That stuff just wasn't interesting to me. I wanted to do the IT consulting, which is what I first did when I first went into business for myself, and have fun at it. And all that other stuff just kind of came along, and after a while, it overwhelms you. So let's run through the list here of things that I've learned over the years that even I'm halfway decent at and I'm getting better at, but things also that I've learned to help entrepreneurs get back to that fun part of running their business. Okay, probably the first thing here that I remember getting rid of that really made me kind of enjoy my business again would be the accounting side of things. Running your business is based on financials. It's based on making a profit. You generate an income, you take your expenses out, and you take whatever's left, and you take your family to Hawaii, or you do whatever you do. You take your family to Vegas, or you fix a hole in the roof. You do any number of things with that profit. And when I started working with QuickBooks and doing the invoicing and getting bogged down in the numbers and having to keep track of all that detail, it just, the life got sucked out of me, and it just really wasn't that fun anymore. So one of the things that I've learned is that as a result of this, one of the reasons I think it wasn't very fun is the fact that I'm also not very good at it. And that's going to be an overall theme of today is what do we do? What are we not that good at that we need to start getting rid of again? And so accounting is the first one right there. For the longest time there, I was a QuickBooks user, then a QuickBooks Online user. And I don't know about you, but my accounting stuff, I don't want to work on it, and I hate it, and I don't ever want to touch it. And so what ends up happening with my accounting is it would get behind, weeks and months. Have you ever been that kind of person who's been like behind months on your QuickBooks? and you have to do all this stuff to catch up to make your accountant happy at the end of the year, and then you do that again. You basically reconcile books once a quarter, and it's not because you're not making a profit. It's not because you're not efficient or you're not smart. It's just that stuff puts you in a bad mood. Stuff that puts me in a bad mood we want to avoid. We never want to touch it. And so I would avoid my accounting like the plague. And there are various times I tried working with an accountant or a CPA where I would basically have them enter in that information. And it worked okay for me. But then again, I also started to realize the better of a business owner that I became and the better I got at running a business is I really didn't even care about the accounting. I don't care about the accounting at all. I care that my books are done correctly, and I care about the reports, and I care that I'm making a profit. So I started getting away from actually worrying about the details. I incorporated a service called Bench into my business. And what Bench does is Bench is more than just an accountant that manages your stuff with QuickBooks. They don't use QuickBooks at all. Bench says, give us your statements, we'll reconcile things, we'll balance things, we'll categorize things, and we'll give you reports. And whenever I talk to people about giving up that power and that control, they're like, no, 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 no. I have to know the stuff that's going on in my business. I have to know the detail of every single transaction. And you know, if you really want to excel in business, one of the things you have to realize is that you don't have to know the nitty-gritty in every single details. You don't have to know precisely how much you spent on Starbucks for the month. You just have to know that, you know what, you blew $30 on coffee. And maybe you shouldn't be blowing $30 on coffee. You blew $50 on eating out and socializing, and maybe that's an expense you need to lower. You don't need to know the details. So one of the huge revelations for me, and it manifested itself in the world of accounting, is realizing is I don't have to know the details. I can take a deep breath, I can leave that to somebody else on the accounting side, and then just worry about the end of the report. I get all the information, it's double checked, it's triple checked, and I know it's correct. That's what really matters to me. So rather than even putting in stuff in your accounting software yourself or giving it to like a virtual assistant, do me a favor and look at a service like Bench that just totally takes it off of your hands. They don't use QuickBooks, and you know what? That scares some people, but I promise it's okay. They have access to my bank accounts and my bank statements, and they just suck it all in at the end of the month. They work on it, they double check it, they're proactive about it, so I don't have to worry about it, and they give me 3 reports at the end of the month. I think one of them's a profit and loss report. Hey, Vinny, good to see you, man. One of them's maybe like an asset and liability report, and then there's another report. And I've been using them now for about 2 years. As a matter of fact, I think I started using them in the beginning of last year or the year before, and what I did is I paid them to go back a couple of years and reconcile because they'll help you do year-over-year comparisons also. And now my accounting is always up to date. My business accounting is never more than a week or 2 behind, only because at the end of the month, that's how long they take to double check everything. But it's been such a relief, and I can tell you also that my accountant I have, because my bookkeeper, except for my accountant's a lot happier, and my accountant trusts the numbers more because I'm not the one doing them, and there is a company that puts them in and a company that double checks them. So accounting is one thing you can give up in your business life to get back to the fun and the joy of things. Another one, which I'm not going to go too deep into, is adding some automation into your marketing. And for those of you that know me, you know I'm a big Infusionsoft user, and you know that I'm really big on when people come into my funnel, kind of having a predefined process for getting them from being a cold lead to a warm lead to a hot lead. And normally that's something we have to do manually. You're familiar with dumping people inside of a spreadsheet or inside of a CRM, and oh, this is the first day I talked to them, and this is the second day, and they weren't ready, and this and that, and you hem and haw. And eventually you're just chasing down all these leads. Marketing automation sounds bad. When people hear automation, you think of bots and these crappy Facebook Messenger things that are going around, and that's not what marketing automation is. Good marketing automation, number one, appears to be a human being. But number two, the whole point of a good marketing automation system is to help you figure out who the really interested people are and who the uninterested people are. And what you do is you're just qualifying people slowly over time. You're figuring out who's interested in your content, who's interested in your service offerings, who wants to buy and who doesn't want to buy. That's something you have to filter out very fast as a business owner. Who wants to buy and who doesn't want to buy. If you don't learn how to filter that out really fast when you go into business, you are going to spend a lot of time and a lot of wasted time in person, in meetings, a lot of time making sales calls to businesses, and a lot of wasted time on the phone. One of those skills that I really wish I would have learned early on is the ability to filter out who is interested and who's not interested. And I'm going to tell you right now, I like to beat this phrase into people's head. This is one of those things that applies to the 80-20 rule. Is, 80% of the people are not going to be your perfect fit. 80% of the people that run across your desk or come inside your CRM or email you or you get on the phone with, 80% of those people are not going to be the perfect fit. And those 20% people, those are the people that are going to be a really good fit for you. And so what marketing automation allows you to do, it allows you to basically help filter out that 80-20 is what it does. If someone's interested, you do something, you have them fill out some kind of form with basically what their challenges are, and you just kind of nurture them through a process to where you get to the point to you understand that, this person's a really good fit for my premium products and for my premium services. Let's get on the phone with that person. And again, that's one of the things you realize with a really good marketing automation system. So I'm not going to sit here and belabor on which marketing automation system you should use. If you watch my previous videos, you know which marketing automation I'm a fan of. But in general, I'm going to tell you the truth that I don't really get religious about my tools. I get religious about my process, but I don't really get hardcore religious about my tools. If you choose to use the tools I use, you're going to do great things. But you know what? Just get a tool. Just get a good marketing automation tool, that helps you figure out how to only get on the phone with the people that are really interested in what you have to sell in your premium price and your premium offers. Your marketing automation is not there. Once you learn how to price your stuff premium-wise, your marketing automation isn't really a good fit to nurture people through low-dollar stuff to mid-dollar stuff to high-dollar stuff. It can be. What you really want to do is the whole goal for me for marketing automation is filtering out the premium clients from the non-premium clients, and to do it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So if someone comes in looking for my services at 3 o'clock in the morning because we have different time zones, I can service them to the best of my ability. And if they need personal one-on-one attention when I wake up, we can do that. So marketing automation is something else that's going to help you kind of stop dealing with the clients that are wasting your time, that are the tire kickers, and really focus on those premium clients. Whatever marketing automation system you want to use, please get one. And by the way, a spreadsheet is not a marketing automation system. A MailChimp is not a marketing automation system. They can be, but they're very, very basics. You do not want to spend too much time. You want to spend as little time as possible either manually emailing people one-on-one or getting on the phone with them. That's the entire goal of that. And what's my favorite CRM, just so you know? I'm a big Infusionsoft user, and that's the tool that helps me automate that process. It handles my phone calls, it handles my SMS marketing, and it handles all my email marketing. And people come in that way. I'll come into that central system for everything I do, and then either they're the premium clients or the non-premium clients. So far we've talked about getting rid of your accounting and getting into marketing automation as much as possible. Something else I think that, and by the way, for those of you that are kind of tuning in the middle here, I'm really focusing on some of the things we can implement to bring the joy back into entrepreneurship. So you can put more smiles on your face, so you can enjoy this whole process of getting back in business again, rather than getting stuck down in the drudgery and the stuff that's not so exciting. The third one we're going to talk about is one of the things that will put the joy back into business is really jacking up your prices. And I know I sound very capitalistic when I say that, but one of the things I'll see a lot of people do when they go into business is they very much have that I want to be the best product at the cheapest price kind of service. And if you've ever heard this before, or if you ever thought this yourself at one point, I would love to hear your feedback on this. But when you go into business and you want to be the best product at the cheapest price, you're just setting yourself up for failure. I'm going to tell you right now. And I really want those of you that are thinking about going into business who have just started off that have this mindset to please do me a favor and get that out of your head as soon as possible. I don't ever want to be the cheapest person. And whether or not I'm the best person for the job, I really don't know. But I do halfway, decent customer service, which is what my goal is. But one of my mindsets these days is I don't ever want to be the cheapest option. If someone comes to me and they want to buy my premium coaching packages or my premium marketing implementation services, and I give them an investment quote to start working with me, and the first thing they do is they balk at the price, that to me is a telltale sign here that you're going to have, possibly a challenging person. You got to work a little bit harder to close them. People that, and I'm sure you guys have heard this before, people that really focus on price and people that really focus on the number of hours are the people that you really don't want to service. And there may be exceptions, but I'm talking in my business of consulting and coaching, those people that are really going to be focused on what do I get for the number of hours, and that's kind of expensive, I can go get it someplace else cheaper. If somebody is really focused on getting it someplace else cheaper, then by all means, you know what? We're not a good fit. Have a nice day, and move on to those people. If you're really concerned about your pricing or whether or not you're charging enough, do me a favor and double your price. Double your price and start offering that to people. And you'd be surprised. Number one, you'd be surprised how many people will still take it, especially if you have a really good value proposition. But something else you're going to be surprised at is the higher priced people are better clients. The people who pay a premium for my consulting and my coaching services know that, I've got this experience and that working with me is going to be more of a hands-off implementation than they've ever had, and we're going to get to a solution faster. I was watching a video earlier today, a YouTube video, and I can't think of the name of the guy that was doing it. He was talking about, what would you pay for a logo? Hey Alyssa, how's it going? He was talking about what would you pay for a logo, and he was talking to an audience of designers, and he drew the Nike logo up there, and he was showing that, what would this logo be worth to you? And a lot of people that will get into consulting situations like this, they'll get into somewhat of a bind because what will happen is clients will ask them, well, how long is that going to take? Or if I pay you $10,000 for a logo and it doesn't take very long, then it's not really, a valuable thing. I want a discount if something doesn't take that long. And the person said something which I wrote on a sticky note right here. I'm not kidding. I wrote this on a sticky note. And what I learned from this video was charging by the hour punishes you for being good. Now do me a favor and write that down. Charging by the hour punishes you for being good. For anybody that has any kind of technical experience or marketing experience or speaking experience, we're always in a competition with people that really want to lowball their prices. And if you're someone who's really good at a solution and you can implement it really fast, that doesn't necessarily mean you should be charging less. People that are really focused on price and hours are they're less focused on the value in the solution, and they're more focused on the money and what you're charging per hour. So do me a favor, double or triple your prices, and by the way, do both. Have double your price and then double it again for the really premium clients, and just make sure your offering is a really premium price. But don't forget that charging by the hour punishes you for being good. So that's another lesson I'm going to kind of slip in here, which I didn't intend, but get away from hourly work as much as possible. I do charge in certain hourly block chunks. I don't charge for a single hour, but I do charge in larger block chunks. But then again, I tell people as soon as they pay for that, you know what? The solution that you need may not take all those hours, but I still make them prepay for it because you know what? They're buying experience, and they're buying all that time and all those decades over the year that you spent figuring out the problem. So if the way that was expressed to me when I was watching this video about the guy designing the logo, the guy basically said, if you're paying for experience, so if I can design a logo for you and I can do the logo in, 30 minutes or an hour, is that worth less than $10,000 versus somebody else who's going to charge you $10,000 and take, 4 or 5 months for it? No, it's not worth less. Why? Because the person that designed that logo faster and was able to do it in 30 minutes, basically, the only reason they're able to do that is because they have a lot of experience. And if you are that kind of person where you charge something for someone and you get it done really fast, and the client starts coming back and asking for a discount, you have to basically push back on them and say, hey, listen, the reason I got this done so fast is because I have decades of experience. I have done this before. I know what it takes to get something done fast. And by the way, for those of you that kind of joining in to the live broadcast on Facebook late, please drop me a note down there. Say where you are tuning in from, what part of the world, what part of the country. I love to interact here with you guys. And if you have any experience in some of these topics also, please drop it down here and I'll bring it up and we can discuss that a little bit more. I'm planning on doing kind of a longer session today. And again, for those of you that are watching recorded later on iTunes or on YouTube, hop over to the Facebook conversation and please leave your feedback after the fact. So far we've talked about stop doing accounting in your business. It's one of the things that I really recommend people stop doing. Get out of the business of managing your own numbers, giving it to a service like Bench, of which I'm an affiliate. And if you want my link, let me know. But I really don't care if you use my link or not. I want people to stop handling their own accounting, and let's start letting qualified, experienced people handle our accounting if accounting isn't our primary business. Marketing automation was the second point I've covered so far. Basically how you want to use marketing automation to implement the 80-20 rule to make sure you're not dealing with the 80% of people who are not really good fits for your premium services. And the third one we've talked about today when it comes to basically getting the fun back in your business, getting the joy back in your business, is doubling or tripling your prices, because not only will you get better clients, they won't be such a pain in the butt, you'll get compensated more for your time, and you'll feel better about doing the work. You'll feel that you're getting compensated better for what you're good at. By the way, if you also have questions and you're on a cell phone or you're watching this on your cell phone separate, you can text me questions after the fact to 405-251-2022, and I will get those answered later. That's our business text line right there. Okay, I've got 5 things to cover, and we've covered 3 of them. Let's go on to number 4. One of the things I've also learned that helps me bring joy back into my business is talking about my business. And I'm doing it right now for those of you that are listening on iTunes or watching on YouTube or Facebook, but also doing it when I'm speaking on stage, or when I get to go over to one of the TV stations here in Oklahoma City and I get to be on TV, or I'm in a coffee shop talking to somebody about what I do and how I can help their business. I call all that stuff content marketing. If I'm on stage, or whether I'm doing a Facebook Live or I'm recording a video session for a client, helping someone understand what I do really brings a lot of joy to me. And I have random meetups in coffee shops all the time, or at various business meetings, where someone say, "Hey Patrick, what do you do?" And I'll explain it, yada yada yada, and I'll pause and I'll wait. And then they'll say, "Can you tell me more about that?" And then I know, you remember the GIF with the guy tapping his head? Someone share that GIF for me if you're watching the other. Once someone says to me that they're interested in hearing more about what I do, I will light up. I will get juiced. I'm like, I'll put down my drink, I'll put down my sandwich, and I'm off and running, because I really get a kick out of talking about what I do. Whether it's video production or content marketing or some of the other paid marketing that I do, all that stuff really jazzes me. I get a kick out of it. And that to me is fun. I want to do that as much as possible. I want to speak on as many stages as possible. I want to do as many YouTube videos as possible. All that stuff is just, I don't get tired of it. If I ever have to do a speaking engagement and there's no end limit to the time, I will talk forever. I'll talk until I lose my voice if I'm talking about something that I really, truly am passionate about and I really, truly enjoy. And that's the stuff I want to do more. And again, I call that content production. So whether or not you're speaking, hey, Montana, big sky country, Montana, sweet. Everybody else, do me a favor like Steve did and drop as to where your location is. Let's see if we can figure out. I know I've seen at least 11 people tune in so far. So just drop me your location down there. But content marketing is a buzzword these days, and yes, we should all be producing content, blog posts, podcasts, whatever. But the unique thing about content marketing for me is it gives me a chance to give my opinion and my voice to my industry. And I have some very strong opinions about it, and some of them are contrarian. Props out to Corey Perlman. Do me a favor, someone tag Corey Perlman for me in the comments down there, if you know Corey. Corey Perlman. One of the best things I've ever had happen to me, and I give Corey props this time and time again, is that Corey Perlman said once when we were having drinks, it was Corey Perlman introduced me to Chris Ducker, who's from the UK or the Philippines, I believe, and Corey had basically said, "Patrick, I like you because what you talk about online is somewhat contrarian," and that to me is one of the better compliments that someone's ever given to me, is about me being contrarian with my opinion. But me getting to talk about what I do, if I was, a full-time marketing teacher, that's something that would really jazz me, and that's one of the things that brings joy back to my business. So that's number 4. Find a chance to talk about the stuff that you really love doing. And if you're anything like me, the more you talk about it and the more you get to express your opinion on it, the more fun that you're going to have, and it may be one of those things that even revitalizes you. If you've kind of gotten stuck down in the doldrums of running your business, then talking about it with somebody else and sharing your opinion may kind of revitalize you and make you realize that, hey, this is fun. I really do enjoy this, and I wish I could talk about it more. Some people are, deathly afraid of public speaking. Not me. I love public speaking because I get to stand up in front of a group of people and share what I know. And share the parts I find exciting with them and have them get excited about it. And when I do a speaking engagement, nothing makes me happier than when I get done, people walk up to me and they say, "Oh my goodness, that was fun. You made it seem like it's possible for me to do this and it's not too scary." And you express things, Patrick, you express topics with an energy and a joy I haven't seen before. That is probably one of the best compliments I can get at the end of speaking engagements. Other than the best one, the really better one is, "Hey, how can we hire you for consulting or another speaking engagement?" That's number one right there. But one of the top ones right there is someone saying that they got some joy from my content and I made a topic that seemed dull and mundane and boring. I made it seem interesting and exciting again. So try to do that. More content production, more talking about what you know and what you like, because it's going to bring joy to other people, but it's going to bring joy to yourself. And both sides of that joy coin are really, really important. By the way, props out to Tom Singer, if anyone wants to tag him also. He's the one that told me one of the better things that can happen when you walk off stage is to have someone want to hire you for consulting or another speaking engagement. So we've covered accounting, which you shouldn't be doing. We've covered marketing automation, which you should be doing to bring joy back into your business. Higher prices. Number 4 was content. And the 5th one kind of goes in line with number 2, marketing automation, is to help you do better marketing and qualify people better and find more of the right people, is looking into paid advertising on any platform. And by any platform, I mean, they can be offline or online. I really don't care. We are living in this world of content production where we're so used to things being free. Free Facebook groups, free fan pages, free Facebook profiles, free Instagram accounts, free this, free that. And free will work up to a point. Free just takes longer. It really does. Free takes longer to reach your ideal audience. Free takes longer to filter out the people that are not your ideal audience. Free has a lower reach. You want to see people freak out every single time Google has an algorithm change, which is free, or Facebook has an algorithm change, and people are like, "Oh my goodness gracious, my videos that used to get 100 million views in 60 seconds, oh my goodness, I'm only getting 10 views now in 15 days." People freak out, and I'm all for content production. I'm all for free content production. However, people that dabble on the paid side, once you've tasted that first part of paid marketing crack, get that first hit of crack. I'm not a drug advocate, I'm sorry, but that's just the first thing I can equate it to here. Once you get that first hit of how good paid marketing is and how much you can target people and how much you can put the right message in front of the right person at the right time and have that person come over and drop into your lap, once you get used to that, you get addicted to it and you want to scale it. And all of a sudden you're at the point where your business grows to where you can't handle it. I mean, yeah, you did a bunch of blog posts, you did SEO over the years, and those were really great things, and you eventually clients start trickling in. But one of the bigger things I wish I had done, in addition to getting rid of the accounting in my business earlier, was start dabbling in Google AdWords and Facebook paid ads when they first came out, and things were dirt cheap. Those are things I specialize in now, paid lead generation for clients. But man, to be on the foreground of that, to be on the wild, wild west of paid marketing when it first came out, like when guys of Perry Marshall and Frank Kern were into that stuff, oh my goodness, I would have loved to have been growing up in digital marketing in those days right there. So if you're someone who's kind of lost the joy in your business and getting leads and trudging through phone calls and nasty coffee shop meetings and all kinds of things that just aren't fun anymore, do me a favor and see what you can start doing on the paid budgeting side to find people that are a little bit more qualified for your business. You will never regret it. There is, it's a little bit harder and there's a little bit of a learning tax there. Part of the money you're going to pay is for making mistakes, but it's an area where you can have a lot more control and you can kind of scale it up. You can't scale free content. If you put a blog post out there or a video out there, you can't make it. You can't double your views just by throwing double the money at it because there's no budget for it. But on the paid side, you can do that. You can scale things a lot easier. So again, if you guys have any comments or questions about any of these 5 topics, do me a favor and drop them below. And for those of you that are watching later on YouTube or on iTunes, feel free to call us or text us at 405-251-2022. There's our number back there. Again, part of my marketing automation platform right there. When you text that number, you end up right inside my CRM, and that's how I can reply to you right there. But So again, the first one we talked about was accounting. Get rid of your accounting. If you're an entrepreneur, do me a favor, get over to a service like Bench. If you want my affiliate link, I will drop it in the comments, just ask for it. But Bench has just made it's relieved so much stress in my business. Accounting was a very big sore point for me. And whenever I had my heads down in QuickBooks, I was just not ever getting anything done on the creativity side. And I'm sorry, I suck at accounting. I don't want to do it. So I found a service called Bench who does a kick-ass job at it, and I get my reports, and I'm happy, and my accountant's happy, and my wife is happy, and the world just keeps on trucking because Patrick's not touching his own accounting. Marketing automation. Do me a favor and do get into marketing automation. I just realized this list I made up is some do's and some don'ts. Mostly do's, but no don'ts. The first don't is accounting. Don't do your own accounting. Do get into marketing automation. Use a system like I use, Infusionsoft or Entreport or any of the other number of great systems out there. I've settled on Infusionsoft because it just fits my personality, and it's a good company, and it's a good community, and it's a great environment to work in. But please, I don't care what you pick. Just pick something. Higher prices is something else you should be doing. For all of you watching here right now who are struggling financially, do me a favor and double and triple your prices. Yeah, I've heard it before, but my good friend Alyssa Light here from Canada, that's something she and I have talked about on the phone before, and I'm sure one of the reasons my prices are higher now is because I was talking to Alyssa at some point in time, online or in person. And all the stuff I'm talking about is not stuff that I just think that I'm really brilliant at. It's stuff that I've learned by making mistakes and stuff I've learned by talking to other people. So higher prices. Content. You talking about content will bring the joy back into your business. You teaching people about what you do will bring the joy of your business back into your business. So do me a favor. More public speaking wherever possible. More classes whenever possible. More seminars. More Facebook Lives. More YouTube videos. Do that stuff where you get to express your joy and your happiness and share what you know. I think there's an inherent love that we get and something that's deep down in our core soul that we feel good when we get to share what we know, we get to make people's lives better. It's the whole reason most of us went into entrepreneurship or started our business. I started mine in 98. I've been going strong ever since then. But I remember when I first started my business from probably 98 until about maybe 2004 or so. The company I worked for, I went out and taught a lot of classes around the world. And they would hire me specifically as a trainer because I was really good at explaining technical things to non-technical people. And those were long weeks. For those of you who ever stood on your feet teaching things, we're talking, a full suit, I think with a tie on and men's dress shoes for 6-8 hours a day all week long. So you fly in on a Sunday, you teach a 40-50 hour class during the week on your feet the entire time to a room full of 10 or 20 people, and then you fly home on a Friday night. That is really exhausting work, I can tell you right now, but it's also very fun work. It's very gratifying work. So do me a favor, and again, talk about your industry and what you do as much as possible, and please always, always have a strong point of view on it. The last one right here is paid marketing. For those entrepreneurs who are having trouble getting clients, do me a favor, look at the paid marketing side. It will relieve some of the stress in your life and help you scale your business a lot faster than you're doing it now. Again, for those of you who are at the end that are kind of wondering what this video was about, I was just talking about some ways to bring some more joy back into your life, to bring some more, interesting things back into your life. One of the things we do here at, Stop Doing Nothing, I'll tell you right now, is we do handle, a lot of business coaching for people that are obsessed with lists like this and obsessed with going and doing the fun things and not doing the boring, dull things and having someone hold them accountable. And so that's something that I do. That's something that I do. I do the do that you don't want to do. Or I think I said that right. Or I help you get through the do that you do that you know you don't want to do. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you, do me a favor and text us at the number back here over my shoulder, 405-251-2022, and let's set up a time to talk about some ways that our coaching can help you get more focused, basically help you get through a list like this right here of getting back to the fun things in business. And if we do the same thing when it comes to helping you set up marketing systems. We handle those for businesses. And because I was talking about premium prices, I'll let you know we're not the cheapest out there, but we are damn good at what we do. So if you're the kind of person who wants to bring some joy back into your business, give us a call or message me here on Facebook. You know how to get a hold of me, or send me a private message on YouTube or any number of places. You can also email me at patrick@allaboutfocus.com, and we can chat about some amazing things we can do in your business. And until next time, do me a favor, hop over to iTunes if you're listening there, and leave us a rating, a star rating. Same thing over on YouTube. Subscribe. And on Facebook, please do the same thing. Subscribe to our groups, like our fan page, and comment. I would love to hear your feedback on this topic. But again, and by the way, if you're listening to us on one platform, hop over to one of the other platforms. If you're watching on YouTube and Facebook Live, hop over to iTunes and subscribe. And if you're listening on iTunes, hop over to the Stop Doing Nothing Facebook group or the Patrick Allman YouTube channel and subscribe there. Hopefully this has been useful for you. As always, you guys have a great remainder of the week. It's Thursday afternoon, and we'll see you during the next show. Don't forget to watch the previous show, and take care.